Picks and bans for game number 3. P's and B's, pretty please.
What am I working with here? Like, what am I supposed to do, chat? We literally broke it down. I played it in slow motion.
I do not believe you.
You were there.
I was not.
Energy has the first pick. I'm taking over now because if we talk about this any longer, I'm going to lose my mind. I've already proven that I was right. Again, Circuit first ban by Energy, switching sides here, but Rival staying true to that Hobwa ban.
Yeah, you've got to keep the Hebo out of the business. I really think that he is a premier jungler right now, especially in the world of Mercury's. You got to keep him in check. These two, I think Mercury and Hebo kind of work against each other, so if you're interested in one, ban the other. The Chernobog gets banned, though. I think you were looking for that. Energy had already banned the Giannis.
Yeah.
So we're losing some global prowess.
Yeah, I'm just curious as to does Energy value Artemis higher than they value Giannis right now? They first banned Artemis both of the last 2 games, but in that first pick slot, you assume Rival's either going to give you Giannis, you're getting Giannis, Chernobog, or Artemis.
Sure.
You're getting one of those 3 selections no matter what.
Is Artemis first pick, first ban these days?
I think she is. Yeah, I think she definitely is. Specifically in Europe, she's had so much success there and just seems to really fit their play style of waiting for those mid to late game team fights.
Above the Athena?
Yes. Yeah. Because you can punish Athena very, very well with Artemis. You can wait for her to dash taunt you. There are plenty of Guardians that can set up CC that then drop the Athena straight into a trap and then kill them in lane. Plus, Artemis just has those games where sometimes you just crit the enemy hunter 2 or 3 times in a row and there's not a whole lot they can do about it. You just win the lane basically for free.
Artemis and Mercury on the same team for Energy. A little bit scary for the ex-world champions. Chulainn going to be selected here by Rival. Deathwalker did what he did in game number 2. I'm sure we can expect to see that in game number 3 as well.
This has got to be the win condition, though, for Rival, because you already mentioned it. Artemis, Mercury, Cerberus in the same team. Their late-game team fight is just going to be preposterous. I mean, good luck.
I'm just laughing.
So you need to be able to beat them in the earlier stages, and Chulainn can lend itself to that.
I like this ROM ban coming out from Energy. They're saying, look, we've got the late game. Let's make sure that they can't dance with us in said late game. I would like to see a Xbalanque ban here as well for Energy to sort of double down on that late game hunter. Chang'e and Sylvanas, that's his name. They're going to be banned out. And the Jingwei or Xbalanque, I think, cover that late game hunter.
But man, what happened to X-Ball? Like, no changes, right? Like,
you know what
it just ends up in a spot where now he just isn't picked as often.
What I think it is that Xbalanque... Okay. Xbalanque, I think, was the late game character that doesn't change the way you play. Jingwei is the late game character that does change the way you play. Semi-global with the back-to-bit, right? Like,
sure.
A little bit. That's where I was thinking. But then Rival pick Anhur and...
Well, the Anhur is just about the better lane matchup. Xbalanque is going to do late game stuff, affect the map with Darkest of Nights, but it's less about his laning phase. Anhur is a great counter to Artemis in the mid game, in the early game. This Nuwa selection, see, this I do not like.
I'm over Nuwa. I've been over Nuwa. This
Same.
isn't. It's just. So Nuwa showed up in the spring split largely because people were newer to the jungle and you could surprise people with the explosion. And Soul Gem was dope, so everybody was just Soul Gemming the ultimate. Now Soul Gem has been touched and players are a little bit more familiar with the jungle lanes. Energy have a great late game composition. Nuwa is going to be tremendous late game damage alongside Merc and Artemis. I acknowledge that. I don't know if I like the pick nonetheless.
Now, that being said, setting someone up with Cerberus Assault and just dropping someone at Nuwa's feet is a great way to get a minion explosion. Tossing them back with Mercury is a great way to get a Nuwa minion explosion. Trapping them is a great way. I still think that Raw can follow up off of all of those while staying safe and providing a better laning phase and having sustain in the kit. I think that Raw is just a little bit better here for Energy's composition. Honestly, I was all about their comp through the first 4 picks. I'm not in love with the Nuwa. I think that Rival came away with a pretty decent composition. It doesn't excite me, but it doesn't disappoint me either. You know, I'm cool with what they've got. I think the Athena jungle was great in game 2. Why not go back to it?
I feel the same way. This one, not leaning either direction, just going to sit down and watch some quality Smite. Hey, new man, make it rain.
Why does he keep thinking I'm going to?
Does he think you're Chalk?
I don't know. I'm not rich. I'm a caster at hi-rez Studios. We're expecting. The one thing I will say about this new WAD though is the fog.
Yes.
That's the one thing I think is the reason to have this in the god pool. Because of the fact that when the combination of gods that they've got here, they all want to kind of creep up on you. And if they can, it'd be very good. Fafnir, Cerberus, Mercury, be able to hide in the fog. I think that could be one of the reasons. Maybe it's just me.
A quick little hammer stun to the face, some ghastly breath right on top of you. Both Fafnir and Cerberus really excel at being point-blank range to you. Both the ghastly breath, and then if you're transform as Fafnir, you got your own dragon breath on top of that. And that could be the game plan from Energy.
Who do you guys at home think will win Game 3? Game 1 goes to Energy. Game 2 to Rival. Statistics saying that based off Spring Split, it should be Energy that wins, but then Rival looks so good in Game 2. Let's get into the action and see what happens. Solely, any favorite for you in the picks and bans?
I like Energy's draft a little bit more, only because of the Artemis Mercury. That late game threat. If Energy don't falter too early in the game, I think that they can seal the deal after the 30-minute mark.
So definitely some adjustments from Energy this time. Main one being that, well, Rival got choice side and chose first pick, and they lost Game 1. So they got to choose side again and went Game 2 as first pick. Energy lose Game 2, and now they get choice, and they're going to be the first pick, which has messed things up. It's clearly Rival are the ones that love Chernobog.
That's true.
Because, well, A, we can't prove Energy doesn't because they've not had a chance to pick it yet, but they didn't ban it, whereas Rival did.
It seems that at least Energy are comfortable against playing against the Chernobog. They don't necessarily mind it as long as they don't have to worry about maybe some other hunters. Maybe they're more worried about the Artemises and the Xbalanques.
Well, that's why I was saying I think the biggest difference there, Tolly, was that because Chernobog was banned, the instant first pick of Artemis was available. So that shows that Energy value Artemis very highly. Other than maybe it's better than Chernobog, maybe it's not. Clearly, Chernobog probably would have been the first pick there. 2
forms of CC between the Boar Stun into the Trap route. Also, you got a slow, so technically about 2.5. So that's another mentality towards team fights. You have the in-hand damage, and you also got the crowd control at your side. But for Vote, he doesn't care about that because he went for the Anhur, trying to get some sort of mid-game momentum.
Ooh, 54%. That's just creeped up a little bit more so in Energy's favor here. Both the duo lanes will start in their jungle. Energy started the red buff, while Rival only did their purple, and then rotate back to lane to get pressure a little bit quicker. Mid lane is now hitting level 2, and will go to either side of the map. Wlfy for his red. Meanwhile, Noir bore the right harpies.
I love what Rival are doing by freezing the lane. Denying some archers and melee minions gives Vote and Callus the advantage. Now, even though Callus and Vote have both their buffs, so there's the purple buff and the red buff, as emilitoo will do more damage to Vote. As long as a Rival can get their own red buff after they clear the wave, that'll put them ahead.
Oh, Yammyn beats there, and the turnaround on iceicebaby could be good. The root was huge. The timing of that root was the most important thing. Yammyn gets first blood on the new war, and a lot of it is down to the passive being up at the right time and finding that all-important auto-attack.
After 5 basic attacks, you just charge up that passive meter, getting your extra root. Such an important mechanic to always have in the back of your mind. And that's why a lot of Nuance, what they'll tend to do is they'll use abilities and then basic attack immediately after. And with that auto attack cancel chain, you're just charging your passive even faster.
Love the call from Energy there as well. Notice how emilZy just stayed in lane to slow Rival down on trying to clear it out, giving a window for emilitoo to nip in the jungle with Noir and find himself those oracles. Not only that, emilZy's perfectly safe, but there's a 2-on-3 fight in the jungle now. And Wlfy's in trouble. Yammyn gets another kill. 2 minutes, 2 kills, and maybe even 3.
Oh, it could be another one because Adapting still has the speed buff. He actually deals a little bit of damage as emilitoo with a nice little crit. Adapting needs to find at least one more.
Drop the kill.
Made you look, but he's not going to find it.
Suppress the instant aftermath from emilitoo actually cost Energy that 3rd kill there. It's not all doom and gloom, as emilitoo will come back to lane at level 3, slightly ahead of his support and of the duo lane out of Rival. But the big thing is Noir with 2 kills. I mean, that's a quick Soul Reaver now potentially for him.
I was about to say this tier 2 rush from Yammyn, whether it's going to be the Soul Reaver, whether it's going to be Book of Thoth, doesn't matter. That extra boost of gold is going to accelerate him that much further.
Even full boots, right?
Even full boost. Just get mobility online, get maybe some cooldown reduction, but it will be the Soul Reaver picking himself up a multi-potion and a ward on top.
And as well, he'll be a little bit further ahead in terms of hitting 5 over a lot of people in this game by that extra experience he gets for those kills. Right inside, maniaKK wants to get his own blue, but he's going to be very wary of Deathwalker once again. Playing the Chulainn. Had a great game 2 on it. I'm going to go back to it this time round.
Chulainn is such a devastating pick in the late game. It's so difficult to handle. Once you transform, You're getting an extra bit of shield. You're getting an extra bit of mobility with the Vent Anger passive. That's what makes him such an absolute nightmare to handle.
But difference this time around is Energy's got a bit of a better comp to deal with that most of the time too, you know, with the fact they've got Artemis traps, the ball from Artemis as well. And then emilizy got a bit of self-peel for herself. emilitoo did a good job of trapping Callus moments ago. We don't see him often on the Sobek, but it's good to see him go back to it.
You say the boar helps, but sometimes it might not help, because if Deathwalker's patient with his ultimate, he can counter the boar with his own form of CC immunity. Last game, emilitoo was playing the Hachiman, which is safer than the Artemis. You have a dash and you have mounted archery to disengage. Artemis doesn't have those two options.
Well, the observant fans among you would have noticed iceicebaby dashing in the jungle there, getting pincered by Adaptin and Yammyn and forced to blink before they realized he was there because he was out of position. Deathwalker, he's out of position now, and that's a big burst of damage from maniaKK. Deathwalker ults to get away, but already he'll fall down. The ultimate out. Yammyn would have secured the kill anyway, but Adaptin gets that one.
Oh, nice dash from Wlfy. Gonna barely avoid the Sonic Boon from Adapting. And this is the kind of momentum that you cannot give the two-time world champion Adapting. He's gonna look for all these plays, even though it was Yammyn with the first two kills. Adapting, setting Yammyn up, setting the mid laner up as it always has been, and then taking that early game momentum into the solo lane. Now there's a 2-level lead for maniaKK on the Cerberus.
And now emilZy, Adaptin and maniaKK all on the right-hand side jungle, stripping away as much as they can. They get the back harpies and the blue buff. Left-hand side though, Rival trying to answer that. The red buff just spawns as Callus gets there, but Yammyn, he's looming. He should be able to secure this himself.
Could easily do it. Trying to do something as Callus, but actually it's like, okay,
no,
sorry, Yammyn.
He can't stop it. Sobek can't stop a new war at that stage.
Not a level 4 Sobek. No. Maybe with lurking in the water, there's some merit to the madness, but being that overextended, better safe than sorry. Even stripping away one little red guy, not a bad idea.
Could be important. The Tuskie's out. No level 5 for Callus just yet. Has to use the shell. And the ultimate defensively out of iceicebaby. Investment into Callus, who was just trying to get some jungle camps, man.
That's an important cooldown to recognize, as Energy can breathe easier without the threat of Defender of Olympus. Now there could be more pressure maniaKK can apply to Deathwalker with this 1 to almost 2-level advantage.
This right side of the map, though, being fully controlled by Adapting at the moment. Trying to get those back harpies on respawn. They're one of the most valuable experience camps in the jungle, outside of buffs, of course. Right, and harpies have spawned. Ice was going to flank around the back, but Adapting sniffed it out and had a bit of farm in mid. Typical betting.
Those back camps coming up every 60 seconds. You can see 4,200 net worth versus only 3,600, about a 600 gold differential. Adapting, still looking for plays in the mid lane.
Yeah, Wlfy could have been a bit of pressure there. May have had to use those beads, but instead of Thoth, iceicebaby saves the day. On the right-hand side, it's an ult for ult exchange. The Deathwalker doesn't come out on top. Adapting now swinging round, and with the new ultimate too, Deathwalker's still in trouble. Very good hovering there as well from Adapting to wait for the ultimate to be on cooldown. emilitoo will get hit by that lurking in the waters, and Callus cleans it up in a 2v1 as emilZy was in the mid lane.
Artemis is not a safe goddess to be left alone. You have a lot of damage, yes, but you are vulnerable at its fullest. And that's a great look for Rival, trying to find something anywhere, because they're not winning it in the jungle. They're not going to win it in the solo lane. Adapting is too far ahead. Yep. The global pressure from Yammyn, just to ensure the death from Deathwalker, allows Energy to be this aggressive. So with Rival finding picks on the left, they keep themselves in the game.
Funny enough, though, Tolly, this actually plays into Energy's hands, though, because at the end of the day, fine, put the dual lane of Rival ahead. It's an Anhur in the late game.
Sure.
It's not going to be as impactful as an Artemis or an Adapting Mercury will in the late game.
But if Energy lose their dual lane, then they might potentially lose the Gold Furies. That can translate to Rival gaining the edge. I agree with you, Artemis.
Gotcha. You're right.
Artemis definitely better in the late game, but if Rival can somehow swing it to Gold Furies, that's their window of opportunity.
Step 1, kill the Artemis and get dual lane ahead. Step 2, get the Gold Fury. Step 3, hope to goodness gracious that Energy aren't too far ahead at that point.
That's pretty much the correct answer. Hope that Adapting goes in so deep that he doesn't really find anyone isolated. Rival need to play together in the late game, and there's going to be a lot of CC disruption between the Sobek and the Athena. This double Guardian composition controls a lot of space, and Deathwalker on the warrior Chulainn in his own right is a pseudo Guardian being able to control a lot of space. Just look what he did in game number 2, helping Rival get back into the game.
Definitely feels like Rival going for a more early game focused composition here, especially when you look at the hyper scaling the energy have in the later stages with a Nuwa, with a Mercury, with the Artemis, and of course a Fafnir for steroids too, GG. But Rival, they're early mid, the mid, more importantly, is definitely very strong.
I think their mid is definitely strong with Anhur, but I think that's their only mid-game god. Everyone else from Rival is definitely a late-game god as well. They have some strengths and merits in the mid-game with a double Guardian composition. Chulainn needs to make his rotations happen, but he's trying to finish off that on Chulainn to disrupt that ghastly breath from maniaKK.
Well, the problem is Deathwalker's currently 2 levels down over maniaKK and getting ganked again on the right-hand side because around the corner comes adapting one more time. This time, though, iceicebaby's here to answer back. Nuwa ultimate was consumed there as well, trying to get some extra burst damage off.
The stun!
And the spit was good enough for a sonic boom. The tier 1 tower's under threat. That will fall as iceice dashes away.
maniaKK so confident that he doesn't care that he eats 3 tower shots. He's guaranteed to hit that stun.
It's getting messy already. 6 kills already in 9 minutes for Energy. They have taken the tier 1 tower, stripped away the jungle again. That's all I've been saying is adapting strips the jungle. It's 4,000 gold now in favor of Energy at only under 10 minutes.
emilitoo with purple buff, Vote with red buff. This Anhur needs to win the 1v1 to get Rival still in the game. He eats
on levels.
No, he's going to eat the ultimate damage as well. emilitoo soloing Vote.
No, adapting was there. He
did nothing. He did nothing.
He got an assist. It counts, totally.
He did not throw out an ability.
Not a solo.
He looked at him very menacingly, and that's about it. Energy with a solo kill on the left side. They cover every single angle, and now Energy are the ones with the first goal. Fury, the quickest one of this set at 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes in now, and the lead is just stretching a little bit more. So Pyromancer could be looming as well. A couple of members just returned to base from Energy, and it's definitely an option for them. Speed buff for adapting first of all, though, and that's the most important thing on a jungler's mind at this stage of the game. It's not over just yet, but it's definitely a telltale sign of how good Energy can look at certain moments. Adapting, involved in every kill. Yammyn, involved in every kill so far.
Whenever you have a late game composition that thrives in the early stages, the momentum is just starting to skyrocket for the Order side. Rival can't respond the way they did earlier where they found a kill onto emilitoo. Vote was just kind of between a rock and a hard place, couldn't go back to the safety of his own towers as adapting was covering the options, and Energy getting themselves another neutral objective.
There's the benefit of having a Mercury, especially at this stage of the game too. He's so good at taking down camps on this Mercury. With just 2 tanks alongside him, that's all they needed to extend their lead a little bit more so. Left-hand side, emilitoo returns to lane to start stacking up some more of those Devourer's gauntlets. Interesting the trades again as well, just to see what you go for first in terms of the boots or the Devourer's gauntlets. Both of them going for the gauntlets second this time around.
And emilitoo, despite being so far ahead with a 2-level lead with plenty gold lead net worth-wise, 6,500 versus actually 52, looking at about a 1,300 difference, still was last hitting originally. Not going to lose any minions under his own tower, and that still denies even more potential to Vote.
Adapts in the jungle under pressure, but it's actually turned around straight away. Rival were trying to make something happen, but instead it's Vote under pressure. iceicebaby being focused at the same time. Sonic Boom was used by Adapting, and he punches Vote to get the kill. maniaKK, meanwhile, falls down on the right-hand side as Wlfy made a rotation from the mid lane. That's important for Rival to try and stem some bleeding somewhere. So it's a 1-for-1 across the map, but Energy grouped up in mid.
Trying to get another 500 gold under themselves. The final judgment is not available. It was used onto maniaKK. Callus finds the pluck, but beads was used from Yammyn.
Lurking the wars used by Callus, and he's getting very low and has to jump away. Tier 1 tower will survive as Energy either too low in health or mana to continue the aggression. The right-hand side, Deathwalker didn't take that Tier 1 tower. Instead, he went into the jungle to get more farm, which I don't mind the call when you've been behind so far at this moment. He actually stems the flow of experience that Energy have been getting on the right-hand side.
Man, in a little bit of trouble trying to juke the dash from iceicebaby. Won't do so. emilZy gets the last hit on iceicebaby.
What a player. What a skill. Soloed, says emilZy as he falls back to base. 9-3 then. 1-0-2. emilZy's best KDA for this stage of the game, I'd say. In the last 3 games, he kind of struggled the first 2.
The thing was,
all of EnMilZy kind of struggled during certain parts of the game. In game number 1, despite EnMilZy winning that game, they were losing it in the earlier stages, and emilZy was partly due to that being the reason. In game number 2, playing a little bit of a different style, he had to worry about the Poseidon just constantly decimating him with the Krakens. Normally, fire beats Sylvanas, but this time around it was the water. Poseidon getting a little bit too much ahead of him, and EnMilZy now stepping things up with the early game presence that adapting abused iceicebaby. emilZy's there to thrive alongside.
Well, F.Anhur on the desk mentioned about the fact that when we see Nuwa, it used to be around the times of Soul Gem, and he's gone for the Soul Gem again here. It's not as powerful as it once was, but it's definitely impactful, and the sustain he can have now, thanks to the Soul Gem, will be impactful.
It's all about the extra bonus damage. I wouldn't be surprised if Yammyn even goes for Ethereal Staff shortly after, trying to just proc all these items on multiple members.
Left-hand side, though, Callus may look for a pick on emilitoo, though, but emilitoo knew about it. Had a trap just set in front of him if required. Adapting meanwhile, starting to group up towards mid again. Right-hand back harpies spawning in Rival's jungle, and that's where Adapting is to clean them up immediately on cooldown. Wlfy down for another 40 seconds time, Tolly. This next Wlfy is important for Rival.
It's important for EnMilZy, too, to continue the pressure. They're up 5,000 gold, which is nice, but that 5,000 gold in 10 more minutes time.
Oh, that's big. Wlfy's beads has been consumed. Aegis will survive from some damage, but not enough damage at the moment. emilZy up in the sky. Well, so just say Yammyn was up in the sky because I thought emilZy going to fly in. Tier 1 tower for EnMilZy, and they're marching down mid.
Oh, trying to get another target. iceicebaby was the victim. 2 dead rival members. Tier 1 fell, and Tier 2 soon to follow.
Lazy back from iceicebaby. Didn't hide behind the tier 2 tower to know the sonic boom could come through. This will fall down as Vote jumps in, but the tower's already gone. He impales maniaKK, but gets removed by Yammyn.
What was that?
I don't know.
Deathwalker goes in now. Rival are fighting outside of any towers, any phoenixes, as emilitoo wasn't even involved in that whole ordeal. EnMilZy running away with this one.
They really are starting to put the foot on the throat of Rival. Wlfy down. Second one of the game. Uncontested because Rival couldn't even defend the tier 1 and tier 2. All started with those beads from Wlfy in mid, but he had to play defensively.
emilZy going to get plucked in. Takes a little bit of damage from Wlfy's level 14 Thoth, but nothing to really worry about. There's a little bit of a zone tactic, trying to get a little satellite vision while emilitoo was getting themselves the second Gold Fury, and with that under their belt, extending the lead to almost 5 digits. Actually, will cross that 5-digit marker.
Tolly, you mentioned it as well. Rival's composition here, they want to group up. But the one thing that EnMilZy have really denied them to do so far in this game is the chance to group up. Finding picks consistently to put them on the back foot of being 4v5s, 3v4s, 2v1s the whole time. They need to group up Rival, but there's just no window to do so.
They can't find those isolated targets. Their only opportunity was onto emilitoo, but this stage of the game, level 15 Artemis, EnMilZy are going to group up and defend their late game Artemis.
Maybe this is the chance. They're going to get the pluck, but the beads was used and the ball too. The ball's going to hit all 3 targets, and Callus is so low. The ultimate out from Nuwa won't be enough to find the kill, but a whole lot invested on an emilitoo gank attempt that cost him beads and the ball.
That's the power of an Artemis that's left unchecked for a little bit too long. Whenever you're dealing with a god or goddess that has no natural escapes inside their kit, especially before level 5, that's a prime ganking opportunity target, and iceicebaby wasn't really present in terms of ganking that lane because of how quickly he fell behind when adapting, and Yammyn got a nice first blood onto him at level 2, I think it was.
Another Pyromancer down before Rival can look to group and defend it once more. See 2 speed buffs around the waste of energy. Still looking for a pick on Deathwalker now. He needs some help and stat. Too late though. Shining Metal comes through. Wlfy could get hit by a sonic boom here, but Adapting will hold it instead. They look for the speed buff.
Trying to make something happen, trying to get the stuff after the stuff. They don't want to go for the Fire Giant quite yet. Respecting the defender of Olympus. Deathwalker still dead for another 30 seconds. That is plenty of time for EnMilZy to really burn down this objective. Level 17 Mercury has the damage available, but why go for fire when you can collapse on Wlfy?
maniaKK being slow consistently, now has to dash away. Sonic Boom straight afterwards. Beacon A's issues too. And a punch from Adapting will bring him down. Ice has to dash away towards mid lane as Vote and Callus just trying to deal with emilZy, who's front lining on that side, but the tier 2 on the right will end up falling down here. All the while, emilitoo just keeps farming up the left-hand side and could probably look for a tier 1.
No one from Rival is abusing this Artemis left unchecked because of how badly they failed the last time. Now, to be fair to Rival, Callus was a little low trying to go onto emilitoo when that gank attempt happened, which is what allowed it to be a successful defense.
Look at this, Sully. They've not even got the Hunter with them. Energy having a field day here. Fire Giant under 19 minutes in. Quick trip back to base, and now Rival is staring defeat in the face.
Mercury better than a Hunter at melting objectives. That's why emilitoo is just casually farming away, trying to get to that level 20 marker, get some extra base stats underneath himself. This level 17 Artemis isn't... If the Mercury wasn't a problem, this Artemis is going to just add more to the list for Rival.
iceicebaby now on this left-hand side. He can't go on the right side jungle. He keeps losing it, but now has to dash away and ult defensively. He went very deep there looking for experience more than anything else. Didn't find a single thing. And now with the Fire Giant, 4 members of Energy grouped on the left. maniaKK in the mid lane. They're going to look to take down the final 2 towers on the map.
Where's the anti-attack speed from Rival? I see one more Guardian Mail from Callus.
It's too early, Tony.
And that's about it. I'm not seeing a Witchblade. I'm not seeing Height of Nemean line. The only other anti-crit item I see is like Thorns for Deathwalker.
But to be fair, do not all those items kind of come in 4th or 5th? They're
They
not even
do.
that deep in build.
They do, but sometimes you might need to ignore other options to make it a little bit helpful for your teammates. Left side, Phoenix, Energy want to get themselves their first bird.
The Rival couldn't even get grouped in time to defend that whatsoever. Left-hand Phoenix falls. Mid one now under threat. Energy have a chance to play this as slow as they want at this stage of the game because gold is valuable. Experience is still very valuable for under 20 minutes in. They could take all the Phoenix if they want to, or just keep stripping the jungle and the Gold Furies.
They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
This map has energy written all over it. Rival are just at the will from the Order side. They could use the longer-range Thoth hieroglyphic assaults, but it's a level 16 Thoth. It's just not going to be enough with all the items that Energy have built up for themselves.
Energy trying to do the double against Rival in the summer split. Onto Wlfy goes emilZy. emilitoo takes out iceicebaby already. Yammyn under a lot of pressure, but escapes in the fog safely. Callus, meanwhile, has to dash away defensively, but the other frontliner in Deathwalker's one hit from death, and maniaKK's giving chase. The dog smelt blood. He's going to force him back. Meanwhile, emilitoo trying to get hold of Phoenix.
Adapting was aiming at the whole entire time as he shoots down the upright, takes out the life from Deathwalker. Rest of Energy goes for the middle Phoenix. Their second one of the game, not even 21 minutes in. It's another 5-on-3 as they shoot for the right.
Take into account they got Clay minions to tank up a couple of these shots for them. 3 members of Rival here to defend, but they won't get here in time to stop the Phoenix falling. All the Phoenix is down now. And Energy fall back into the jungle. The damage has really been done.
Only about a minute and 15 seconds on their Fire Giant buffs. They got what they ultimately came for. All 3 Phoenixes stripped away. They can go for the last final siege once they secure themselves the second one and spend all that very important gold in hand.
Such an interesting season in Europe then once more. Energy missing out on LAN in spring. Barely.
Yes.
Rival winning that LAN. But coming into the summer split, Rival have found it against Rival. So Energy found it against Rival every time.
Very important set for Energy to win because the fact that they keep struggling against Obey Alliance, that's their kryptonite. So as long as that's the only team they lose to, they'll make it to the land. This is your number 1 versus number 2 currently in the standings. Rivals still have some land implications that they need to come through at the remainder of this week and in the last week, number 6.
Yeah, remember that, like Sully was saying, week 5 this week. It's only the start of the week, though, and the table will change. But starting at week 6, we get to talk about qualifications. It's the top 2 from each region that make it to the LAN, and there's a couple of horses in each of those groups that still have a race in them.
Very true. At Rival, they have still a lot of good potential. They have SK next, then Obey Alliance, Dignitas, and Mouse. We could easily see some kind of comeback here that Rival can shoot their way back into it. Actually, no, they beat Dignitas in week number 4, so they're done with that. They split with Dignitas 1-1.
Deathwalker on the right side, a little bit too far forward for his own comfort. He will fall down here. That will probably spell the end of the game in 2 because only 4 members of Rival left alive. And if you look at the levels of them, they are so far down on their opposition. It's remarkable. Fire Giant about to spawn. Do you go for a cheeky fire giant steal here, Totally? Does it make a difference?
I mean, you could. If you're Wlfy, you got the range, you got the damage. No one really from Energy can contest that damage, but knowing how experienced Energy are, they're going to cover their options. They have the vision control that they really need. They even have their own fire minions flooding down the right side. There's no possible opening angle that Wlfy can throw himself at where Energy won't spot him from a mile away.
Still, haven't seen the whole of Rival manage to group up in a fight yet. Even now, you've not had every member of Rival together for one defense, one offense, because Energy have just not allowed them to, has been the real moment. They have forced a fight every time when Rival haven't been ready, and Rival just scraping around for as much experience as possible to get some final items finished for the defense that's surely required here. Left Hand Phoenix has respawned. Energy will head that way now.
Trying to make something happen and close out this set. Energy.
He should die.
They're going to find the pick on Callus. He has nowhere to go. That's a clean pick. Dead for 43 seconds. And that could be all Energy needs to close out this game in the set.
So where was the turning point in this game, Tolly? Was it mainly from the outset with Nuwa getting those 2 kills?
It was the first blood, yeah. It was really the first blood. But not only that, it was also about how adapting transitioned it, because he instantly ganks the solo lane. Deathwalker has no momentum for himself. maniaKK has a 2-level lead, and then he does things like this where he forces beads under the enemy fountain.
Taunt in from iceicebaby sets up some damage, but not enough to kill any members of Energy as they go about wiping the floor with Rival. GG! Energy take it 2-1, doing the double against Masters winners Rival in the summer split.
Energy are looking like a completely different team. Only losing to Obey Alliance thus far in the summer split. Actually taking a game from them in their last performance. So they're looking to be solid heading into at least week 6.
Well, it's funny when you look at what happened in spring when we had the roster change between emilZy and, of course, Rafa between these two teams of Obey and Energy. Kind of expecting Energy to perform better than Energy to struggle a little bit more and Obey to flounder, to do well. But it didn't work out that way.
It could also be the synergy that they start having for themselves, that they're living together in Valencia. It's emilitoo, it's emilZy, and it's also Yammyn under the same roof, being able to just group up and discuss things. Poor emilZy, you're right about that one. But he's able to be the glue that I think Energy need, the new fresh blood to kind of get all these experienced veterans revitalized for the summer split.
Who's MVP for that one, do you reckon? I know it's their job at home. You guys vote for who you think, but who do you think?
Adapting, man. Just the momentum.
I thought people were going to say Nuwa. I think they're adapting too. I think Mercury had a pretty good game for himself there. So are you surprised by the result at all?
Not really. This could have went either way. I think between Energy and Rival, they're just so closely matched. It's just any given Sunday between these two teams, and I'm still not counting Rival out in terms of their LAN performance. They still have SK and Obey between the end of this week and in week number 6. They still have a shot.
Absolutely crazy set between the two. What a fantastic performance from Energy. Congratulations to them. But to break it down, we've got Tom and Aggro on the desk.
2 top teams performing like 2 top teams. There's really no surprise here. Energy does take the victory. That might be a surprise to some people, but at the end of the day, the unbiased people up here, we just got good smite, so I'm happy.
We really did, and Energy continues to show off what they have learned and how they've adapted to the meta and how well they clearly understand it. I mean, they abused Deathwalker in this game. The side lanes for Rival, the side lanes that usually do so well for them, a combined 0-11 between Deathwalker and Vote. You add Kalas into that mix, that's a 1-13, not a whole lot better. Really impressive performance from Energy. And when you get off to an early start with the Nuwa, it really can feel oppressive at times. Those 2v1s and even 2v2 scenarios, Nuwa can really shine in, and Yammyn put that on display. I know we were kind of critical of the pick on the desk, but when you get to perform like that, then no complaints.
I mean, Nuwa, 20,007 on the damage charts, and the closest person to him was 14-4. I mean, that's what Nuwa does. She gets above and beyond anyone else on the map. Great job by Yammyn to make this oddball pick absolutely work out and do what it's supposed to.
But adapting will be the MVP for game number 1. I mean, look, Yammyn did great damage. He was phenomenal, but it's all set up because of this Mercury. And then it's not only what Yammyn's doing in the mid lane, but that 0-11, side laners that I was talking about. That's adapting, putting pressure there.
I mean, when you have a KDA of 13,
it's not bad.
13. I mean, this guy went 7-0-12. Yeah, you don't. That's MVP performance. Adapting just. This has been really scary. Let's zoom out real quick from this game and talk about this team as a whole. Spring Split, I personally was saying, I don't know, adapting, not the best player in the world anymore. Where did he go? Will he get it back? Adapting, Stella's got his groove back. He's just doing it, and it's kind of scary.
He looked great at the beginning of Season 5, then tapered off a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, the whole team had some struggles. Now that he's returning to form, the rest of the team is as well. I think that emilitoo's resurgence has been really important to energy. I think emilZy continues to improve. maniaKK continues to impress me in the solo lane. And Yammyn is still who I want to be when I grow up.
Yammyn,
like, the dude's a beast.
Yammyn has just, I feel like energy has always had their moments, but have stayed afloat on Yammyn's consistent, just crush. He's just so good all the time.
Yeah.
He's been playing for years, and I don't think he's had a bad spot. We dive deep into energy and all the other teams every Monday, 10 a.m. eSports Weekly. Like I said, we talk about the picks, we talk about the plays, we talk about the players, everything in between. Sometimes we even make fun of Finch.
Pretty much every time we make fun of Finch. Let's not. I don't want to.
That's fair.
Give a false advertisement here. We will make fun of Finch at every given opportunity.
That's absolutely fair. Coming up next is going to be eUnited versus Counter Logic Gaming. Real quick, how you feeling about that?
It's going to be a good set. That's what I'm feeling about it. I don't like to do predictions for sets.
No, I wasn't asking you for a prediction.
Well, I thought you were. That's why I
was just saying how you feeling about it.
I feel pretty good. I gotta get a little snack beforehand, recharge, and then I'll feel really great about it. Actually, just need a little to go from good to great. Need a little snack.
Would you like to give a prediction?
No, I wouldn't. Thank you for asking.
I figured I'd ask.
You're allowed to do so.
Awesome.
Great.
We'll see that matchup soon. We'll even talk to Polar Bear Mike. We'll be right back with more Smite Pro League.
Scared of it all, oh, no joking. What do you really know about love? It's doing more discovering us. Don't really have a choice but try on. We all fall down. Despite all the times I have lost love, getting out to overcome someone wrong, and I'm down. Oh, I know that all is my fault. Never learn from it all. Like a fastball in motion, I'm open. I thought that we had it all. Now I'm broken and scarred, and I'm scared of it all. No joking. Oh, no joking. Oh, I thought that we had it all. Now I'm broken and scarred, and I'm scared of it all. Oh, no joking. You'll fall down. Thought that we had it all, now I'm broken and scarred, and I'm scared of it